No. Awesome. Okay, well, welcome to this new episode of the community call of Kleros. I'm Federico Ast, I'm president of the cooperative. I'm very happy to have you with us today. Okay, well, so this was a week with a bunch of stuff going on. Traveling first to Paris, we made a very cool event in partnership with Assas at an incubator they have there. Two panels, one of them about Kleros and interactions with the traditional legal systems, having some very cool participants like, well, Sophie Nappert, that you know, she's a good friend of the project. We have Christophe Duguet, who is an arbitrator, a very, very famous arbitrator. We had, well, you can see the names on the brochure, and then we had another panel on AI and well, the future of the legal industry and how this interacts with the methods based on crowdsourcing, such as Kleros. So that was a really cool thing that we did at Assas. We are already planning with them also a conference. Well, this is not formally announced, so don't tell anyone outside of this place, please. For before the ETHCC, we're going to do a more academic event on targeted at researchers on decentralized justice, and we plan to gather people from different aspects, some of them from the legal world, others from cryptoeconomics world, well, and different other people interested in Kleros, like from business, and the goal is to foster more research in decentralized justice. So this is something we're planning in July, also in partnership with Assas University. Then I went from Paris to Lisbon, where I am now. We gave on Friday a workshop for, Wharton is the business school at the University of Pennsylvania, and it's one of the most important business schools in the world. And they have a program that they take some students, MBA students, to visit projects building on Web3, and they traveled first to London, and they met with I think it's Aave or others, who are based there, and then they came to Lisbon and, well, asked us to make a workshop on how to build two Web3 projects based on the kind of content we give in the incubator. So we spent there with more than 40 students presenting all of the things that we do in the incubator, the strategy, how to think about network effects, how to build, interfaces, how the process of developing smart contracts work, and mechanism design, and all of the things that you already know. So it was a super cool workshop on Friday. And then I spent this week mostly working with the incubator teams we have here at Lisbon, and advising them, trying to help them with whatever they needed at the moment. And yeah, so this is my week, and also doing some planning with Clement, who is also here, and JB, well, planning different stuff for the coming year. I'm finishing the report that we present every year at the cooperative meeting, so that's also part of this planning that we do at this time of the year. And then in other news, but I will let maybe William give his update, and then I can continue.
Yeah, so on my side, one notable thing is that the blog article that I wrote about parameterization is finally out, that I've been teasing on several weeks, some of the previous calls. So you can all read that now. It's a fairly long article. I go into all the different things that I sort of keep in mind when I've been proposing parameter updates for years now. Some of the parameters that we propose and are, sort of for the court parameters updating on the forum governance posts are things that can be calculated using this like Google collaboratory calculator that I created that is linked to in the post. So those are sort of like the most complicated calculations for things like juror fees and the deposits jurors can win or lose if they're coherent. So I go into like how exactly one should use that calculator. So I hope more people will sort of play around with it, get a sense of how parameters are calculated. I also go in the article, talk about like all the sort of heuristics and kind of approximations that I've been keeping in mind for proposing all the other parameters that aren't explicitly in the calculator. Like how does one determine what the jurors for court jump should be? And it's this sort of like trade-off between how difficult it should be appealed to the parent court, and how useful it is to like have extra appeals in the subcourt where you already are. So like kind of trades off around resistance to different kinds of attacks. Like if you make it the court jump really high, then you're have maybe less resistance to 51% attacks in a given court, but you have more resistance to bribe attacks. So like these kinds of reasonings. So anyway, I invite you all to read that. So I hope that more people will be able to contribute to making parameter proposals. As evidenced in the article, as I talk about in the article, a lot of the inputs to the calculator are these sort of subjective estimations about how hard different tasks are that really only the jurors acting in a court can know. So in an ideal world, people would be able to think about their own level of difficulty in their tasks, play around with the calculator, make propositions based off of their own sort of feedback. So, other than that, I've been thinking about ways that the crowdfunding mechanism that I detail in our yellow paper can be improved and made more efficient in certain special cases. Now that the V2 is going to be modular, we can have different incentive schemes in different courts, and some of them will have different use cases, and particularly we can have different schemes adapted to different situations. So I've been thinking about if you have numerical choices that are discrete, which is a pretty natural use case. If you can imagine, jurors have the choice between refunding Alice $5 versus refunding Alice $30 versus refunding Alice $100 versus refunding Alice nothing, which is a pretty reasonable sort of special case. Then how can you use this additional extra structure that comes from the fact that the choices are numerical to make sort of the voting and incentive schemes more efficient?
And there you go. William, what percentage of the article on parameters was done by GPT-4?
Only the part where I specifically asked it. In the middle of the article, I asked ChatGPT what it would do if to update parameters or how parameters work in Kleros, and I saw it got its response, and I included that as a screenshot of the article. So only the part that is explicitly done, presented as being done by ChatGPT was done by ChatGPT.
Okay, I believe you. Fine. Okay, so do read that article if you're interested. I mean, it's not an article. It's more, I would say, the Bible of parameter settings. When I saw it on the blog, I think it was 37 minutes read. So yeah, it's it's like a weekend. Take your time, and So make a coffee, and it will take some time. Also, 37 minutes, including lots of equations. It's not just reading novels. So, but it's awesome, and I'm happy we have that now because it clarifies a lot of questions that we get from the community on why did you change this parameter, which seems to reward jurors in a way that we don't think it's appropriate. Well, there are reasons why we make these decisions, and now you can see what are the reasons. Of course, this doesn't mean that we get everything right, because as you know, it's not about just the economic model. It's also about the data to fill that model, and lots of the work that we do, especially when we develop new use cases, is we have to estimate how much effort it takes for jurors to resolve the case, and know how much risk a challenger needs to run when challenging some submission, how much subjectivity there is in cases, but everything that you can see on William's article. So yeah, and if you want to suggest improvements, happy to get them and yeah, add them to the article and to improving the model. So we have that. Then well, V2 still developing. You know, we have maybe soon something to show about VIA, our message bridge that is an important part of Kleros 2.0. So that not many updates from that perspective. Tomorrow, I'm going to be at IT Porto. If someone is around and wants to meet, I'm happy to do it. Let me see. Maybe, I know, Abir, do you have something to share today?
I don't have anything to share at this moment. It's a rather relaxed week for me. I mean, there was a Twitter Spaces yesterday, and then I helped Arjun and Aditya prepare for the upcoming ODR forum in Bangalore, India, where they're going to have a pop-up. So just sort of help them figure out a strategy by which they could help, sort of create a reputation for Kleros among the rather competitive OER market in India. It's really booming right now, so we went over that. Next week, I'm gonna be at a event known as FOMO Asia here in Hong Kong. It's gonna be over the course of 4 days, so I might have some things to report of next week.
Man, I get so much FOMO I can't go. Yeah,
well, there's quite a lot of things happening over the next few months here, so you should come join us at some time.
I might go to Asia like in September, maybe for Token 2049. So I've already been there in 2018 when we were doing the first roadshow for the token side of Kleros. So that was already a long time ago, and we have some community there, and yeah, I might go there, maybe September, to be confirmed. So then we have other team members in different parts of the world. We have there is Akil now in Dubai, there is in Dubai, there is Arjun. Arjun is he's in the distributed solution conference in Bangalore. Tomorrow me and Clement also we're going to be at Porto. People around the world shilling Kleros. Then we have about products, not many more updates. So we are still working on new version of Curate, as you know. Also lots of work to homogenize our technology stack, which is we have so many different things. Some of them developed some time ago, like the tokens. I mean, we were reviewing this, and the tokens app was it's 4 years old. 4 years old in the Web3 is prehistoric piece, a relic of the ancient times. So we are trying to improve all of the technology stack. Then lots of administrative things going on. I'm boring to them here, but about us having working credit cards for paying stuff, and that banks don't like crypto. Well, speaking of banks and crypto, we have also been following of the drama happening Silicon Valley Bank and the USDC. You know what happened, so no need to get into many details. So that took a lot of our time also on the weekend. We have been following what was going on. I don't know, Juan, if you have some comment about that.
Not really. We're working on developing for the community. I mean, developing the demo code, improving the system, the introduction, we're realizing that when onboarding for non-crypto users, all the first steps, it's quite complicated, well, as we all know. And yeah, I know it's some people of the community also in Spain, and I'm moving next week there. So yeah, anyone who's there and want to talk about this, glad to do so. In universities, but also on other kind of workshops. And yeah, basically that.
Yeah, we have lots of people who have been asking, especially from universities. I mean, they want us to do workshops at law schools. So we developed this demo test course where you can do the case in just like a few hours instead of having to wait for all of the periods, the drawn. Well, it's adapted to do like very fast, and so yeah, we are starting to like deploy this in different places in the world. Like already, this is going to be used in Portugal. This is going to be used in India to start with, and of course in Argentina as well, and then different places that people ask. We just, go France too. So yeah, so that's a cool thing. We are starting to,
I've already got the green light from HKU to do this in October, by the way. So
well, there you go. Also in Hong Kong then.
yep.
So yeah.
But yeah, I think that's plenty of time to sort of keep revisiting this, because right now, like, I think the basic infrastructure is there, but for this to be an actual good experience, there's certain more intangible, no, well, not intangible, but more, you can say, user-facing issues that are going to have to be dealt with, something that makes it truly immersive and interesting for the people sort of participating in it. So I'm kind of thinking of looking over how, generally moot course or clinical educational faculties sort of work in, sort of role playing with their students and all, and see how we can sort of bring those processes into the demo court. Ultimately, we might just have a giant database of, how to do a demo court on your own.
Yeah, and then ChatGPT is going to steal it from us and automate it, but it's fine. So what we could do is like a crowdsource, the writing of the cases, because what we are looking for now is what cases would be cool to send, students in this test course. So the test course, the technical part is not very hard. We solved that. It's done. The thing is that we need cases. So if you guys want to write cases, just get in touch with us and we can see if we do some bounties or something for that. Okay. Maybe Jean, do you have some update for today?
No, I believe that's it. We had an article about justice, the future of justice, basically, from Cointelegraph, a magazine, and they of course mentioned Kleros. And I believe this Sunday the article about Kleros in Argentina was published in a real on a real newspaper. That's also interesting.
Yeah, I got lots of people contacting me because of that. Yeah, you can see that traction. And I guess I don't have much more for.
Do you mind if I just jump in for a second? Hi, this is Mars.
How are you, Mars?
Yes. I'm excellent. The London, the weather is finally getting a little bit better, and I actually have a very, very exciting update, because back in the day I was working towards the incubator, and I actually found a project that is exactly like I was doing. I would say, it's a collective consciousness, because the radio was invented by the Marconi in Italy and some other guys in the US, because it was the same type of people working on similar problems. And similar thing was in the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. In the same year, the guy from Norway, the Amundsen, and the guy from England, Scott, they both try to be the first to the South Pole. And the same happened with the project I was working on. I realized there is already a team, an entire foundation. So I'm not saying that I failed on my project. I just realized there's a team and community and network of people who are working on something exactly the same. And here the Kleros comes in, because we are talking about, climate change is a hot topic, pun intended, and there will be so much funding for all the climate change and impact work. So what they do impact evaluation to support the various environmental organizations, because, hey, protecting forest is not a profitable business. Cutting forest is a profitable business. So it's about changing the incentives. So they were relying on the impact evaluators. However, this job doesn't exist as of 2023. There is not enough people to, evaluate the positive impact. So I am actually shilling Kleros to them and just changing the incentives of evaluating impact reports. So is there any an email for partnerships and integrations? Because I would love to integrate this project with Kleros, and I would love to receive some help from the partnerships and integration team.
I mean, Wangyan is the guy you need to talk to about this. So I find this super interesting. Well, as you know, you have all of this market. So of course, cutting trees is financially better than planting trees. But if you have this market that can reward people for planting trees or for not polluting, so you have this carbon credit market, and those are really good. I mean, candidates for being tokenized, right? You could make a market of tokens, representing carbon credit, and then there's lots of different opportunities for Kleros to be integrated there. For example, a list of acceptable issuers of tokens that represent carbon credits. So this is a verification, certification type of use case. Then you may have disputes on how many carbon tokens should be issued to this company, and there might be subjectivity. There's all things that are about that type of questions on how many carbon credits should be given. Those kind of could be really good use cases for Kleros. So yeah, I mean, happy about you, Mars. I'm very happy you found your way, and just get in touch with Wangyan. Wangyan is the guy that you want to talk to about this.
Okay, sure, absolutely, yeah. I don't want to go into technical details right now. You get a very good summary of how Kleros can integrate. I also have a couple of ideas about this. Evaluations, incentives, fact-checking, disputes, etc., etc. So Damian is my person. I will chat with him, and yeah.
Guangmian.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
I mean, Jean will connect you. Don't worry. It's okay. Okay.
And another thing, I've seen that Talent Layer has been participating in the Denver hackathon. I believe that they won 2 bounties, and I also invited people from the badge just to share some updates. I don't know if they are still. Yeah, they are still. They are here in the call. We invited them to share a little bit about their product progress, because yeah, I don't know
Hello, everybody. Here is Agustin from the badge. Happy to be here and to share some updates on what has been going on our side. As Federico was talking about, on last Friday, we had the opportunity to participate also and share some of the Web3 knowledge with the master students there at the block, which was a pretty cool experience. A lot of people understanding and following along the concept of the badge. And then as of the project itself, we are pretty much done with the MVP. We are finalizing some of the last touches on the user experience side, and doing our best to be ready for the demo day that will take place between the 1st and 2nd week of April, I believe, for those that are participating in the Kleros incubator program. And soon after the MVP is finished, we are planning to sort of do an open source testing for people to start jumping on board and start playing along with the platform and seeing how to create their own badges, how to actually create their own certification standards, which at the moment at the moment of testing, everybody is gonna be able to to create the badge, to curate the badge, and also to mint it. And pretty happy about that. That's a bit of what we are doing at the moment.
Thank you. So we will communicate the day of the demo day when we define it. It's going to be probably next month. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for today. Thank you all for joining, and you can go claim your POAP. See you next week.
Amazing. See you guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.